So I've seen like about I guess like 100 videos or so of people comparing the Switch 2 and the Steam Deck. But what I've seen so far is that like most people just focus on the performance or like very general um, like things. So I guess I thought I'd give my take on it with my specific niche. So for context, like I've played Nintendo games my life. Like I grew up with the Wii, 3DS, and I've had basically every system since then, in some shape or form. And then like more recently, I guess like since the Steam Deck, I started playing PC games. But yeah, I don't know. I'll just mainly go over what I use each of them for, because I am in the fortunate position of having both of them, and I'll just say like what works better on each or like little things. So yeah, just to get stuff out of the way, performance is going to be basically the same. Um, you'll find like small differences here and there. Docked mode is going to be faster on the Switch 2 than Steam Deck, like in handheld for PC games. You'll probably get like better optimization and stuff. Uh, but like, yeah, there's definitely some things because, like, at first, I just, when I got my Switch 2, I basically switched over completely from this to that. Um, and now after like playing it for like a month or two, my thoughts have changed. So for context, like I played a lot of Mario Kart and I played like some of my Switch 1 library. And in my opinion, these games work fantastic on the system. Like, it's something where Nintendo games usually have like very simple button layouts. Like in Mario Kart, you basically just hold A for gas. You use some of the other buttons, you use the shoulder buttons, and then you turn with the stick. Um, and yeah, that worked great. Like, I really loved it. Like, I saw many complaints about like the screen and stuff that it's not as good as the OLED, and not as good as the Steam Deck OLED. Jesus Christ. But yeah, in Nintendo games, typically because they're very bright and punchy, um, like stuff, these games look great on it. Plus, like it's a very thin device, so it works well with like holding it, or like holding it for those specific games where you need, where you don't have to like maneuver your hand around too much. It works great for portable stuff, and I guess what I appreciate, like I've like mentioned in a past video, it's a big screen, high resolution. These games are not super demanding, so they look fantastic on it. Um, so like when I, yeah, like first got that the Switch 2, I was basically sold. Like I was like, why do I even still have this? But yeah, I recently like I got Hogwarts Legacy on sale, and this is like a much more typical like home console style video game, where you know it's not just like using more inputs, but it's like a lot darker and there's like a lot more, yeah, like shadows, little jaggedy edges. And when once you're playing games like this, I'll just boot it up like in the background. But yeah, here, if I like set up my tripod real quick, if you play games like this, you constantly have to be like moving the stick around, and like once you like the right stick, once you hold it like this, you're like cramping your hand up and you're like supporting it on one hand. You have this like super tiny stick. Um, and like the screen just like it does not get bright enough. If you play dark games, you can barely see anything. And like the thing with like a game like this, you would basically only be playing it in bed or at home. Like I can't really see someone playing this on the bus. And like in that situation, when I have my Steam Deck, this just like it feels so much nicer to hold because like you have the grips and stuff. It's like contoured around for your hand, and it just feels much better, I guess, to simply hold. But then, most importantly, if you have like games where you need to like do a lot of right uh, analog stick inputs, move around the camera, um, it works much more naturally. It's not that it's bad on the Switch, but like I don't know, you like you can tolerate it for like an hour or two, but then after that you just cramp up. But like with this, if you like see the way that I'm holding it, if I'm holding using both sticks, it's natural. Um, like my hands are not really like shifting around too much using the buttons. They're like all there. Um, with the Switch 2, like I showed a bit earlier, like it works well if you're holding it just for like the face buttons and then like the left stick. But then like if you wanted to hold your Switch, like especially because it's so big, and like move the camera around, you'd have to like either bend your thumb or like support it in one hand. And then yeah, like I the way that I usually would do it is like you like I have it like sort of I'll control the right camera stick with like the middle of my finger, and then still like shift the Switch around, but it's not really that comfortable either way, especially if you're like playing a game like this where you switch between using the face buttons and the right analog stick. It just doesn't really play well. And if you can see here, I'm not using it on like max brightness. Like now I am, but it's late at night, and everything looks just like gray and washed out. Um, and you have to play these games like this because like there's not that much dynamic range on this display. You can see like the blooming right there, and if you play like games like this, it just becomes like a mess where it's like hard to see. You don't get like any like real HDR where there's like great separation between like highlights and dark spots. Everything just sort of turns into like a darkish mess. So yeah, I guess I was like overly optimistic when I first got this. It looks great in Nintendo games, bright like kids games like Sonic. But yeah, if you're playing like the home console titles, um, like with the Steam Deck, um, at first I was just like, I didn't want to play on it because the screen is smaller, but uh, like, and I like the weight and stuff didn't really bother me as much yet. But like nowadays, like I started playing through GTA 5 for like the first time, and it feels so much better. And if you're playing it at night, like the colors on the OLED screen, like for the people who have had a Switch OLED, they it just like feels much better at night. But yeah, that's like the nuance, I guess, in terms of like the basics. Um, like yeah, just whatever. Like Switch 2 is probably the better purchase overall at this moment, because you'll get um like you get the same sort of performance as the Steam Deck, but you get much better. You'll probably get much better long-term support. Like I can imagine the Steam Deck will um like I guess not be supported with like GPU support, driver support in like 5-ish years, and it will be completely underpowered to play anything but like old games or stream. With the Switch 2, even though it's similar performance level, uh, like it's just the way that consoles have been um, forever. Basically, like developers will find a way to make it work, and the gap will get even bigger than it is right now in terms of like optimization. Um, Games look kind of similar, um, with usually them looking slightly better on the Switch 2 in terms of graphics. Um, but like that gap will get even bigger once like optimization and stuff separates it from the Steam Deck. Um, and plus, you get all the Nintendo games on top of that. Uh, Honestly, like if you wanted to get a Steam Deck, I would probably wait like another year or two till the new one comes out. Um, Unless you can get like a good deal on like a used one, but it's I'm glad that I have it at the moment. There's nothing really that's wrong with it. Uh, like it plays all the types of games that you would want. There's like a couple. There's maybe like 4 or 5 uh, AAA or like quadruple A games that just are unplayable, and you would need like a ROG Ally or like one of the newer generation PC handhelds. But um, yeah, that's like another topic, like Windows versus Steam. Um, Honestly, like after a bunch of like updates, I never like had the worst of it. Um, because like I got it quite late, but in my opinion, um, I'd say like the console like experience is maybe 70% there compared to actual consoles. The biggest thing with me is that games will just like crash uh, quite often. Like in with the library I've had, like I won't count emulated games, but like the main like I guess like home console like games have been like Rockstar games, Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5 so far. And they just like crash quite often, and that's something you obviously won't get with the Switch 2. I've never had it happen, but you know, that is the main thing. Other than that, you still get like a quick resume, I guess, and you can like literally put the console to sleep and it won't like mess things up. You cannot take that for granted because like on PC handhelds, I've heard so far that if you turn them off or like put them to sleep, it will basically um it I don't know what, like I've never done that or like had a PC handheld, but you wouldn't be able to play your games just like turning the device on. So that's probably like the main thing for me that's like holding it back, holds PC handhelds back. Um, but yeah, um, like there's about like I'd say other than that, you just get like a more uh, quality of life extras where like chatting with friends is more robust. You probably have more friends that use Steam or Discord to communicate than the switch to voice chat that only, you know, like you'd have to go out of your way to like convince your friends to use that feature. Um, but yeah, like storefront wise, um, like in my opinion, they're both not that great in different types of ways. The like eShop is just like horribly organized in my opinion. It's like impossible to um, search like filter very well. Like I feel like there's no way I would like discover a game that I like in here with this. With like Steam itself, it's a much better storefront. Like that's its primary goal. I do have like the feeling that um, it it kind of feels like you're using like a web app or something. Like it feels like it's just like loading a website. Same goes for the eShop, but like it's worse on Steam, like animation wise and stuff. It feels a little bit like you're just like accessing a web browser, which I assume it's technically doing. Um, but yeah, buying games is basically the same. I find it a little bit easier, and like installs and stuff usually work much faster because games get compressed like hell on Nintendo platforms. Buying games is a easier experience, and then like having stuff download in the background just works a little bit better, but it's so close um, that it's just splitting hairs in terms of like um, actually like the games that you can buy. You'll honestly like people say that games on Steam are much cheaper, but so far I've had better deals. Um, like there have been more games that I like actually want to play that go on sale, but that's just like depending on what you um what types of games you play. But like it's by doing that, getting sales, like I got Hogwarts Legacy for like 20 euros, um Sonic Generations for 30. That's like how it made me sort of reconsider this topic because I got these for cheap on this platform, um, because they never really went on sale from what I've seen on Steam. And I was like happy to do that, but it made me realize like playing Hogwarts Legacy, even though it like technically performs like a little bit better here and it would require more setup on the Steam Deck, I would much rather play that on a Steam Deck. Same goes for Sonic Generations. Um, like it just, yeah, it's it's just like the stuff that like is kind of unavoidable with the concept, like with the detachable controllers, and the like flat design that like comes with that. It just makes it like really annoying to hold the Switch to sometimes. The screen, yeah, it's not bad for what it is, and it doesn't even bother me like remotely in colorful games, which is what you'd be playing on Nintendo platforms usually, anyways. But with like, if I had the option to play games that are available on both, I would pick the Steam Deck like 100% of the time. Um, it also just like you might not get this from like what you're looking at, like just from the visuals, because I feel like the Steam Deck can look quite ugly if you haven't seen it in person, but it feels just like so much more premium to hold. Like there's much less flex. Um, it's it feels like there's much more thought into that went into designing this, and like the textures and stuff feel much better. It even has like that like premium tech product smell that like makes it just like much more enjoyable. Plus like the sticks are like actual controllers. Um, like when you're playing single player stuff and you have to like press in the Joy Cons, it feels like you're breaking like half the system, which I guess like isn't even an exaggeration because like these will probably get drift at some point. So I feel like if you hear this, man, like it like ugh, it feels gross here. It's like a like not quite like a mouse click, or actually it's very similar. It like feels like it's designed to do this. It has like a nice little snap to it. Um, this just feels gross. And yeah, that's I guess what I'm gonna leave it at. Those are my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. I'll probably be posting in like a month or something. See you.